My dad was waiting on me at the door. He's pushing me and getting aggressive. He was like, "Who was that, huh? You messing with older men?" That was straight up pedophilia. We blowing the whistle on everybody today. Me too, bitch.
Hey, cousin. Welcome to the Goosey Show.
Hi, I'm Gustavo, but you can call me whatever you want. Special shout out to all the misfits, degenerates, people who don't belong and will never belong. I see you. It's 2021 and we ending stigmas out here. We talking about our real, raw, messy traumas, and this is what we do here. My video last week was a mess. And you're welcome, because that is the Goosey Show promise. So you know I had to come back this week strong. I have a topic, I have structure, I have real, raw stories, and I'm giving a little skin or whatever, you know, in the spirit of the video. Before I begin, I absolutely have to give a content warning because I'll be talking about sexual abuse, child and otherwise. I'm sorry. This video will be a collection of stories about my unfortunate and traumatic sexual experiences growing up. It's no secret that many gay men have a lot of sex. A lot. And for me, that happened for a variety of reasons, leaving me empty, lost,
and dead inside,
which I will explore here. I feel like there's two types of hoes. One, I believe there's certain people who are sexual beings who just wholeheartedly enjoy it with the confidence, mental, emotional, and spiritual ability to deal with all the energy that they absorb. They're just a happy, well-adjusted person who really likes sex. And then there's people who have a lot of sex because it's just a trauma response for them, and it's done as a coping mechanism. The internet defines trauma response as
the response to a deeply distressing or disturbing event that overwhelms an individual's ability to cope, causes feelings of helplessness, diminishes their sense of self, and their ability to feel a full range of emotions and experiences. It does not discriminate, and it is pervasive throughout the world.
What does a trauma response look like, you ask? Well,
increased vigilance is also a common response to trauma. This includes feeling on guard, jumpy, jittery, shaky, nervous, on edge, being easily startled, and having trouble concentrating or sleeping. Continuous vigilance can lead to impatience and irritability, especially if you're not getting enough sleep.
Symptoms of psychological trauma, which I identify with each and every last single one.
Shock, denial, disbelief, confusion, difficulty concentrating. Stop!
See?
Anger, irritability, mood swings, anxiety and fear, lots of it. Guilt, shame, self-blame, lots of it. Withdrawing from others, lots of it. Feeling sad or hopeless, lots of it. Feeling disconnected or numb, all of it. And did I mention shock, denial, disbelief, confusion, difficulty concentrating, anger, and irritability?
So they're not particularly sexual people, but they use it in a way to numb, a way to distract their minds, even if temporarily, from the pain and horrors caused as a result of, you name it, abuse, rejection, all of that. In an age where phones and mobile apps dominate society, it has become dangerously and unnaturally easy for people, in this case, gay men and queer people, well, everybody really, to have quick access to sex with literally just anybody. I didn't have support or emotionally intelligent people around me to ease the extra problems and heavy emotional weight that being undocumented piled onto me. Boo-hoo, right? So sexual excursions were a common thing and a way to cover up all the feelings that were difficult to deal with. As many people know through experience, there are traps set up around society. Unfortunately, I fell into that trap, and I can honestly say, if there's one thing I could change about my life, besides having gotten papers by the age of 18, seriously, it would be to have never used hookup apps, dating apps. Just eliminating that, because that should have never been a thing, ever. It wasted so much time, you know. But I'm here. With all that being said, I'm gonna get into my story now. My personal, very personal story Enjoy. When I was like 4 or 5 years old, a man lived with my family, my parents, and 3 young kids in a 1-bedroom apartment. I very vaguely remember someone like telling me, hump a little girl in the middle of the night. And I said, no, I don't want to do that to her. And he said, come on, do it, she'll like it. And I remember my mom asking me, has he ever touched you? And I honestly can't remember. I don't know if I was too scared to say anything or what, but I told her no. Whether it was him or not, he's in jail now for that. Not that specific thing, but you know, that was what he did and got caught. Yeah, so I don't have any memory or recollection of an older man raping me as a child. And I try so hard to remember for clarity and answers, you know. So this is when I really start to have memories that stick. When I was little, I used to rape other little kids, other little boys. I would kind of force myself on them, and it would be done in hiding and in secret. And I would tell them, don't ever tell anyone. If you ever tell anyone, I'll kill you. This was truly like the original source of shame for me, now that I think about it. And I did it to at least like 5 little boys. I keep them in my heart and prayers forever, as well as all of the abused children in the world. And one time my mom caught me with a little boy from the neighborhood. Anyway, I spoke to my therapist about this, and he told me that when children do things like that, it basically means that someone did that to them. They mimic behaviors and repeat what is done to them. And I just don't understand why my mind refuses to remember who or where or when. So with the dawn of the internet came dangers and pitfalls. When I was 14 and a freshman in high school, I was in an AOL M4M chat room. And I started to chat with someone who lived close by, who had already graduated. He was 18. And boom, we planned a day when I was home alone. Afterwards, I was just like, oh my God, I can't believe I just did that. Then a year later, when I was 15, I was raped by my cousin. Raped by my cousin. Raped by my cousin.
I was raped by my cousin. My cousin.
I remember because it was June 9th, 2002. My cousin was 21. It was a late summer night, and we were at our aunt's house in the backyard drinking beer, and the cousin was smoking cigarettes. We were talking and bonding. I was having a really good time. We were by ourselves, and all of a sudden he pulls it out and he says, suck it. And I go, ew, no. And they say it again, and I tell them I don't want to. They leave it alone for a little bit, keep offering me more beer, waits till I'm under the effects, and they just keep insisting, come on, it'll be fun, nobody will know. No, I don't want to. Keeps asking. Then they're like, let's go inside, let's go downstairs. And I was like, fine. It was so persistent that I was just like, whatever. We go downstairs and they straight up take my virginity. I remember at the time I had a little pen pal, and we would talk on the phone about him and his boyfriend, about sex. And he would tell me that the first time that I do it, I just have to relax and breathe so it doesn't hurt. So that's what I was thinking about. That's what I did while it was happening. My cousin, who was 6 years older than me, took my purity from me. And I never got to have a proper first time experience. And yes, I'm saying it loud on the internet with my chest.
Hey, cousin.
Hey, cousin. And it wasn't even enjoyable. It happened twice, and the second time it stunk and I gagged. I asked them to wash it and it still stunk. Trauma. So I used to think that rape meant being forced physically into engaging in sexual activity. So I always told myself that I did it because I wanted to, and that it was me who consented. I tell my therapist about it, and he told me that straight up, I got raped by my cousin. No matter how you look at it, I was raped by my cousin. And that was the first time that I really thought about it or realized that. And he said that because I was 15 and underage and my brain hadn't fully developed, I didn't have the mental capacity to make like solid decisions. Plus I kept saying no until I just gave in. And it only gets messier. When I was 15, going on 16 in high school, there was a boy in the school play who I had the biggest crush on. I would write in my journal about how much I wanted us to be boyfriends and how that's all I wanted, that's all I needed to be happy. And very unfortunately, it came true. Sometimes you not getting what you want is a really good thing. Anyway, so turns out that this little boyfriend was a complete sex addict. He took me to various escapades through AOL M4M chat rooms. And I'm talking about a lot, at least like 20. So anyway, we blowing the whistle on everybody today. Me too, bitch.
Me too, bitch.
Me too, bitch.
Me too. Wow. He introduced me to a man named Billy Strollo, who was bald, I think like 56, and lived on Green Grove Road in Neptune. And I hung out with him after prom. Looking back, I'm like, wow. Wow. That was straight up pedophilia.
And he gave me crabs on top of that.
Let's just say my high school boyfriend wasn't the best for me. Mind you, he was the first and only actual boyfriend that I have ever had in my life. Like now it's starting to make sense why it hasn't happened since. By then the damage was done. And my mom would always say she didn't trust my friends and didn't like me being with him. And I would always get mad at her.
Back then I didn't know why you were misunderstood. So now I see through your eyes, all that you did was love. Mama, I love you.
So then after we broke up, the nonsense was familiar to me and it just became routine. Then poppers were introduced. I would just go on countless random hookups, all while not even enjoying sex. I just didn't get it. I would do it and I didn't get it. I didn't understand why people liked it. I remember one time a man drove me back home just as soon as my parents were pulling into the driveway. And I panicked and I was like, just keep going, keep going. And he dropped me off at the end of the street. And my dad was waiting on me at the door. He was like, who was that? Huh? Who you messing with? You messing with older men? And he's pushing me, getting aggressive. I was like, no, he just dropped me off from work. Then why'd you keep driving past the house? I don't know, I made up some lame excuse and that was that. But I would be pretty responsible though, like using condoms and stuff. After every single time, I just felt an instant feeling of terror and dread. Like, I want to go home right now. Like, right now, I have to leave. I just want to close my eyes and be home right now. Like, it was always a feeling of intense, like, oh, no, I do not have to be here. I can't be here. I shouldn't be here. Eventually, cocaine was introduced. Between 25 and 30, the condoms came off. And I was like,
Oh, well.
I refused to live in fear. I was like, no, like I've been illegal long enough that I refuse to feel any more fear. That's not gonna happen. All of a sudden enter crystal meth stage right, you feel me?
Oops. Oopsie.
So now in my very early 30s, it got dark, it got sinister. I was in the doorway of never ever coming back. And I was like, no, none of that. None of that anymore. I'm tapping out. This is where I draw the line, like, okay. And if I can help people along the way and entertain them as well, then worth it. Conclusion, I don't do that anymore. I can't afford to spiritually. But I get it though. The world is a lot. Life be full of nonsense and only nonsense sometimes. I encourage people to sit down with themselves and just do what's best for them. Be honest, feel uncomfortable, and know that it's okay. And that it can be okay, and that it's going to be okay. And we're in this together. That's it! I'm gonna call this a video. If you got dirty dishes in your sink, wash them. If you got dirty laundry in your hamper, wash it. And always, no matter what, support Black women. Bye.
My little brother got me this for Christmas, and I thought it would be a cute idea just to like go through a couple and answer it because I love talking about myself, as you can see. Would you rather lose all of your old memories or never be able to make new ones? Because in one hand, you will lose your past life, and in the other, you can't ever have a new one. So yeah, I feel like I lived my past life. I would lose all my old memories so that I can make new ones. Are you a pacifist? No, not really. I want the smoke. I got the time. No. I want to fight. Oh, well, duh. This is fitting. Do you have a favorite YouTube channel? What is it? Yes, The Goosty Show.